Hi guys, so $20,000 per year. That's the amount of money that you can do through airdrops. I know, it sounds like the classical title just for clickbaiting, but it's not like that. The reality is that just in this moment and in the last couple of years, we had so many people making more than 100,000 per year. That's something is absolutely possible. But you need to understand a couple of things because there is a big difference between who is doing that with a method, with rules that are enabling them to make this amount of money. Forget about the idea that you can just spend like 5 minutes a month and in order to do that amount of money. It's not like that. You need to put some kind of effort, and most of all, this effort needs to be following a couple of rules. And I will tell you the 3 rules that you have to follow if you want to reach the kind of ambitious goal. Yes, because obviously we are not talking about pennies. We are talking about a decent amount of money that you can reach, but you need to follow a system. At the end of the video, we'll do also 2 other things that can help you a lot in order to achieve this goal. So first of all, I will give you a system in order to analyze the profit and the cost of each airdrop, because I will lie to you if I'm just telling you that it's everything for free, everything is easy, and so on. It is required some kind of effort, and in some cases it could be required for you also some kind of investment. Not so much money, or better, it's really up to you if you want to keep your goal modest or much more achievable, and in any case something that is achievable even without big investments. Obviously, if you want to reach more, and we have seen people earning even 100,000 per each airdrop, so that's a lot of money. Well, if you want to reach that kind of goal, well, put in account that you need to invest some kind of money because it's not completely for free. So stay tuned because it's really important. And as a last gift, I will also suggest you 3 different tools plus one that are helping you to evaluate your airdrops and to find different guides, tricks, and tips that can help you reach the maximum out. So stay tuned and go through the whole video, because if you want to do airdrops, if you want to earn money through that, that's the right video for you. Plus, guys, don't forget that this content is just about educational content. I'm not here to give you any kind of financial advice. I want to just describe you what are the opportunities and how they work. At the end of the story, after that, it's up to you to expand your point of view and take the right decision for your own risk appetite. And guys, please don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up and drop a comment to the comment section. That's a small effort for you, but really means a lot to us. Okay, we are ready to start, and I want to start with the rule number 1. The rule number 1 is pretty simple. Diversify. Yes, guys, I know it looks like easy. You need to diversify, but the reality is that many people are just going all in a single project, thinking that that project will make them rich, or maybe that's the most convenient one, the cheapest one, or whatever. The reality is that when it comes to airdrops, it's all about uncertainty. We don't have any kind of answer. We know that most of the projects will release at the end an airdrop. They will have this kind of airdrop, but we don't know how much they will allocate. We don't know how we will be able to qualify. We can just make guesses. So obviously, as you can understand, in this kind of uncertainty situation, the only way out is to diversify. And just to give you an idea, diversifying this kind of ecosystem doesn't mean just using following 2 or 3 different airdrops. If you're following something like applications like D.Fi that we have just seen the other day, that probably has been the most embarrassing airdrop that I have ever seen, literally terrible. But that's also a big lesson that we need to learn. These kind of situations are happening. We need to be ready for this kind of scenario where we we have done some kind of effort, but we ended up with 0. So that's something you have to take in account. That's a rule so important. Why? Because it's also about our emotions, our feelings. Because one story is obviously if we are energized by the last airdrop that gave us 10,000 or 2,000 or 1,000 or whatever it is. Another story, if we spend time, we put some effort, and we end up with 0. That's pretty frustrating. And in some case, the situation could be like, I want to quit. I don't believe anymore in airdrops and so on. And that's the reason why I'm telling you, diversify and create your own strategy. Create your own schedule. And specifically because here we are coming to the rule number 2, and it's about consistency. Guys, you need to be consistent during the time. We have just seen with the Starknet airdrop. Starknet airdrop has been just released. And many people, even if, for example, they follow, it has been like a good Voyager journey, something like that. It was lasting for about 5-6 weeks. That was enabling also you to collect NFTs. You had to complete different actions and so on. But even so, even if you were doing just that, it wasn't enough. Why? Because they were rewarding, they are rewarding right now the consistency during the time. And what was their bet is that, guys, if you have done at least one transaction in 6 different months, that's the minimum amount that you have to do in order to receive that kind of airdrop. Obviously, this is not the rule for any kind of project. We have seen, for example, Sui. Sui, it's another layer 1 that rewarded people just to be following their Discord. So that's another kind of rule. Or we have seen Sane, another layer 1 that said, guys, if you were using any kind of roll up layer 2, we're giving you something. So maybe even just using any kind of layer 2, you would be able to receive an airdrop. So the point is that we don't know which are the rules, but we know which is the general path that we can follow in order to be qualified for any kind of airdrop. And just to give you a small, brief review of which are the steps that you need to do, well, first of all, use the application and use it in different weeks. I mean, it's not necessary that you have to perform 10 actions each day, but for example, at least a couple of actions per week. Put your reminder on your schedule. Each week you need to do something if you want to be qualified for that airdrop. That's something that is important. Rule number 2, pay attention to the amount, the volume, and the number of transactions and the number of protocols that you're using into that ecosystem. Most of the times, these kind of projects are not just rewarding people who are using their app or layer 1. Many times they are rewarding people who are using also their ecosystem. So spend some time also to use the different applications that are part into their ecosystem. If you're wondering which are the apps that I should use, go into their website, follow some guides. At the end of the story, at the end of this video, I will also show you a couple of guides that you can follow for each airdrop. Because at the end of the story, it's much faster if I can give you just do this, this, and this, and you'll be qualified, or at least you will be able to increase the probability for you to receive that kind of airdrop. 3, another thing that you need to do is follow their social media accounts. We have seen, like I just told you about Sui, or participate into the Galaxy activities. Even if here I'm a little bit more skeptical, I have seen many projects releasing activities on Galaxy, and the end of the story, they weren't rewarding so much. As always, it's a matter of how much you want to be secure. Usually doing social tasks is not so much rewarding, usually because maybe there will be the time when a project will be rewarding just using that kind of metric as the real metric in order to distribute the airdrop. So we don't really know. I'm just giving you a hint or which are the different activities that you can do in order to participate. Final step is about referrals. Honestly speaking, it's not a big deal, mainly because when it comes to referrals, if you are not an influencer that is able to bring 100, 1,000 people into that kind of thing, and even if for a small influencer like me, for example, I don't have the numbers to make money out of referrals for these airdrops. Yes, if you are using my referral, you will help me some way, but we are just talking about pennies. It doesn't make any kind of difference. But if you want to do that, obviously, feel free to do that, something that can help you. Okay, these 4 are the things, the general activities that you have to follow. And you need to follow these activities with persistency and consistency during the time. Don't stop. Don't follow your emotion that is like, oh my God, yeah, I haven't done it. I haven't received any kind of money yet. I will just give up. Do be consistent for a whole year. Literally, save like 1 hour each week for 50 weeks during the year. And in that hour, you have to perform each week without skipping any week task on any kind of project that you are thinking that could be a good deal for you in terms of airdrop. Do that. And yes, I can tell you that you will be 100% sure to be able to receive it to make the $20,000 that I said at the beginning of this video. Because as I told you guys, this is the matter of uncertainty. Everything is about airdrops is uncertain. So I can't give you any kind of assurance, but I can tell you that if you do that, the probability is increasing. And when it comes to crypto, everything is just about probabilities. And everyone who is telling you do this and you will receive this other is a liar. Nobody can give you that kind. Yes, I know that's a beautiful title for a clickbaiting, but at the end of the story, it doesn't fit this kind of reality. But be consistent and you will be able to increase your probability. Okay, now that we have the first two rules that are diversify and consistency, let's go to the third one. The third one is about multiplying. Yes, this is something that you can even think about that like a trick. We have seen many people, I was just reading the other day a thread on Twitter of a guy that qualified something like 200 different wallets for the airdrop of Starknet. Why? Well, basically because the kind of actions that could be done in order to qualify, to be qualified for an airdrop are pretty limited. For example, we know that if you do like 100 transactions that are distributed into a whole year and with that amount done into different wallets, well, how long does it take to you to do 2 transactions in a wallet? Let's say 5 minutes. We say that you can dedicate like 1 hour. Well, you have immediately qualified 12 wallets. So it's about 12 wallets. If you dedicate more time, well, it could be even more. Obviously, I'm not a lover of going all in into single project because obviously in the moment when you want to qualify, I don't know, 20, 50 wallets into a specific project, it is doable. And in a moment, I will tell you also a couple of tricks that you need to follow in order to be sure that you are qualified and you will not simply be eliminated because they think that you are just like a bot or you are just trying to trick the system. That at the end of the story, that's what you are trying to do, but it's also part of the game. So I'm just giving you the tools. It's up to you what I want to do with that. I personally prefer to diversify in different projects instead of going all in, but again, it's up to you. It depends how much time do you want to invest into this game and what is literally your beliefs about that kind of project, because maybe you think that that airdrop is better than another one, so it's perfectly right to follow what is your gut. I'm just telling you guys, create your own strategy. Do that at the beginning and follow it until the end of the story. Multiplying literally means knowing how the system works. Remember, guys, airdrops are there to reward as many users as possible, usually. So it means there is a kind of threshold that in the moment that it is reached, and usually it's not so tough to reach this kind of threshold. Maybe it's not even necessary to do one action each week for the whole year, but maybe it's enough to do a couple of actions per month, so much less effort. As always, we don't have an answer, but I'm just telling you the whole story. And in this way, even people, small users, small wallets that have just a couple of pennies inside, that perform a couple of actions, maybe they will be rewarded anyway. Yes, with the lowest tier, but who cares at the end of the story? If you qualify 20 wallets, even if you get the minimum out, well, that's either way a lot of money. For example, the guy that I was telling you made more than 100,000 just from the Starknet airdrop. Yes, he qualified like 100 and 200, whatever was the number of wallets. That's a lot. But the point is that it is possible. What you need to know in order to qualify more airdrops? Well, guys, be aware that the kind of account, the kind of wallet should look real in a moment when the project is analyzing all the wallets in order to check, because obviously the project want to reward you just once, so they will run some kind of a system in order to verify if you are just a bot, if you're a real user or whatever. And you need to make that wallet look real. Yes, you can even find a shortcut like just using bots, but be aware of the risk. And the risk is that they will simply tag you like a Sibyl account, and you will not be able to receive anything from that airdrop. So try, if you want to do that, try to simulate to make that wallet real. If it is possible, don't connect them all. So use instead like a centralized exchange to send money to the different wallets. Don't use wallet one that is sending money to all the other 10 wallets, because it's creating a cluster. We want to avoid to create a cluster in order to be qualified for the airdrop. Okay, right now that we have understood that, let's try to understand the profits and cost connected to each airdrop. And I want to show you a couple examples. So let's start from the cost, because also it's a matter, it's something. It depends how much money you want to invest. For example, Supra, that is an oracle, that's something that's an airdrop that you can follow even for free, because they are not requiring you to use any kind of blockchain. You don't have to do transactions. You don't have to pay fees. It's completely for free. The only thing that they are asking you in this case is about having a KYC. You don't want to have not even a KYC? Well, you can use, for example, Silencio. That's a DPN application. It is enabling you to go around the world, measuring the noise pollution in each place and be rewarded. Also, this one is completely for free. On the other side, we have like Berachain that is in testnet still, so it is completely for free. But on the other side, we also know that Berachain has NFTs, and we know that in some cases NFTs could be a boost in order to increase the amount of our airdrop. And obviously, maybe you don't have that kind of NFT, but you want to boost either way your airdrop. What you have to do in that case, simply buying the NFT. And obviously, this is an investment. So you need to understand, okay, I will get this amount, I guess, because I have seen a similar project doing something like this. And I think that this airdrop could have a general value of this. So maybe it could be worth it or not. It's up to you. The reality is that no one has an answer. So do your own math, but just be aware of the overall picture. Using a testnet, that's super fine, it's super free, but on the other side, it's also a matter of which are the boosts that that project will reward. Is it an NFT? How much does it cost? And how to get it? That's something you have to take in account. On the other side, we have also projects like Layer 2 or a Layer 1, like Scroll, that is a Layer 2 ZK rollup on Ethereum. In that case, you need to pay for transactions. Let's suppose that we have to do 100 transactions. And if each transaction is about $0.3, at the end of the story, it's about $30 you have to pay. But there is another thing that you have to take in account. I know it's a hidden cost, but you don't have to forget about that. And it's about in the moment when you perform an action into a protocol, it's about swapping, for example, with real tokens, so not on a testnet. In that moment, you will encounter two things. One is spread, and the second one is about the fees that you are paying to that protocol. And usually it's about 0.3%, 0.0 something. It depends. Each protocol has its own fee system. But you need to remember that it's not just about the transaction fees. It's also about the amount of money that you are losing during the process. So just be aware of that. On the other side, we have protocols like Airdrop, for example. It is a perpetual protocol. It is enabling people to be rewarded by the volume that they are generating. In this case, again, you have to pay the transaction to deposit. After it is completely gasless, but on the other side, there is slippage and the fee to open and close each position, and also the funding rate if you're using a perpetual protocol, and so on. So all of these are costs that you need to take in account in order to understand how much will I spend if I want to qualify for this airdrop. Once we have understood that, let's move our attention on how much money can be done. And this amount is related to three different metrics. First of all, it's about the FTV. For example, I know that Supra will have an FTV that will be around 1 billion. Why? From one side, because I talked with the team. On the other side, also because they are using as a benchmark a Pith that was also another oracle that just had the airdrop. The FTV represents how big is the pie. Bigger the pie, also bigger could be the share that will go to the airdrop. And here we come to the second important metric. It's about how much they will allocate in terms of airdrop, which is their allocation that will be distributed to the community. We have seen Jupiter, they allocated 50%, 550% of their total supply to the community. That's a lot. Other projects are allocating like 4 5%. That should be also the amount that will be allocated by Supra, for example. In other projects like Silencio, we don't have any clue on how much they will allocate. The third thing that is really important, even more important to be understood, is how many people will participate into that airdrop. Because as always, guys, higher the competition, the more the share that is dedicated to the airdrop will be divided into smaller pieces. We don't want to divide our cake into too many pieces. We want to find the kind of airdrop that is not so far. For example, one suggestion could be like farming Hyperlane. Hyperlane is like a bridge, but right now it's not so farm compared, for example, to Layer 0 that had more than 5 million different wallets that are farming that thing. Yes, Layer 0 will have like an FTV that is about 10 billion. We still don't know how much they will allocate to the airdrop, but the risk is that there are so many people that the kind of allocation it will receive will be small. Again, we are just trying to make guesses. I want to give you the formula. And the formula takes in account three things. FTV, supply that will be allocated to the airdrop, and third, how many people will participate. So we want to have the highest FTV, the highest amount allocated to the airdrop, and the lowest amount of people qualified for the airdrop. Now that we have all the ingredients, let me share with you a couple of tricks in order to get the maximum out. First of all, I want to suggest you to follow our Substack. It's a weekly newsletter. We are publishing about different airdrops. For example, here, Ethermail, Over Protocol, all the restaking protocols, Supra here with all the answers because you have to answer a couple of questions in order to qualify for this airdrop. Here we will find all the answers and so on. So if you want to have a guide that is guiding you each different airdrops, just follow our weekly newsletter and you will be always updated. Another interesting resource is Earn Free that you can follow. They also have an interesting Telegram group. Okay, now that we know how to get, let's also try to understand which are the tools that we can use in order to understand at which step, at which stage of the process we are. And I want to suggest you three tools. So first of all is zksync.netfly.app that is enabling you to check out how you are performing according to different airdrops. As you can see, zksync, Linea, Hyperlane, Wormhole that is closed, Zora, and many others. If you put here your address, and that's something that you can repeat for any kind of airdrop that is supported by this tool, you will find down here all the metrics about you and that airdrop. That's something that can give you a hint about how you are classified into that process. And also, that's pretty nice. It's trying to give you like an arbitrary simulation. So it is using the kind of allocation that has been used by Arbitrum. If the same allocation will be happening, how many tokens you will be receiving. Obviously, it doesn't apply 100% because obviously it has been another time. Right now, all of us are knowing how Arbitrum has been working and the amount of competition has been increasing, skyrocketing like crazy in the last couple of months. Going to another tool, it's called ZK Flow. Also in this case, you can simply put here your address and you will find different metrics about that airdrop, including a suggestion of a couple of other protocols that you can use in order to boost your score. And it's available just for ZK Sync and Scroll. Going to another tool, that's the last one here. The main difference is that it's supporting different airdrops like layer 0. It wasn't supported by the other one. Aptos, even MetaMask, even if right now it's down for maintenance, Orbiter, Tyco, that's another interesting, and many others. So I will leave all the links of these tools into the description below. Feel free to use them. But again, guys, be aware that doing $20,000 per year just through airdrops, that's something that is doable, absolutely. You need to invest time, you need to have a strategy, you need to diversify and be consistent during the time. And don't stop, just keep pushing, because at the end of the story, you will be rewarded. Yes, it's not too late to start. Obviously, it would have been better starting much earlier, but we can't change the past. We can just take action now. Okay, guys, so let me know what do you think about airdrops. Which one are you following? Let me know into the comment section below. Please leave us a big thumbs up and drop a comment. That's something that will help us, and I will be really grateful if you do that. And I will see you soon in another video. Bye, guys.